Hey there, it's Lisa with FreeFaxReview.com, and today I'm reviewing MyFax. They offer all the standard options you'd expect from an online fax service, including email to fax and fax to email transmissions, as well as a web interface. They also have free apps out for both the BlackBerry and the iPhone, although I couldn't find any mention of an Android app. The email to fax process is pretty standardized for most online fax services, so I'm going to take a look at the MyFax web interface instead of just doing another email to fax to email the same way for the umpteenth time. I'll tell you right up front that I'm not too terribly thrilled about the fact that in order to log in, they assign you a numeric ID here, instead of using your email address or even your fax number instead as a login. It's not like it's a really huge deal, but little fine details like this are what make the difference between getting or losing a customer when there are so many other online fax services to choose from. And in this case, that user ID is just another otherwise useless number that I have to keep track of now. Anyway, once you're in, this is what you'll see. This is the main web interface. And if you bear with me for a second, I'll go over all it takes to send a fax. It's pretty simple. You just input the name of the recipient, the fax number, and I see that I can take that extra one out, and then you have to click Add before it's officially recognized as an assigned recipient for the fax. You can select a cover page if you so desire, and of course you have a contact book as well that you can use for adding recipients more quickly and easily. And then this is a nice little feature that I haven't seen with other online fax services. You can actually select the size of the largest document that you're sending, and basically you're giving the other fax machine a heads up about the paper size. And here you select any files you would like to attach to make up the body of the fax. Another neat little feature is the fact that you can select a saved document that you already have in the web interface so that you don't have to upload it over and over and over if you're in the habit of sending the same fax out to lots of different people. And here's the document, or in this case the image that I've already uploaded to go with the fax. So I think everything is ready, and I'll just hit send here. Okay, looks like it's on its way. Now I'm going to test MyFax's receiving ability as well by sending a fax from another fax service, and in this case I just arbitrarily chose MetroFax because I happen to like their interface here. And I should have that one prepped as well, so off it goes. Okay, success. And now I'll just wait for the email messages confirming receipt and successful transmission to come in, and then we'll look and we'll see what's what. Now, in the meantime, here are some other things you might want to know about MyFax. Their personal and small business plans range from $10 to $40 per month. They also have some corporate plans you can choose from if you're in the high volume faxing business, but for now we'll just look at the personal and the small business plans. For every plan, you get a set number of free pages for sending and another set number for receiving. This is kind of another one of those pet peeves of mine. Again, it's not a huge deal, but it does make a difference because you're more likely to go into overage, which in this case costs you 10 cents per extra page sent or received, when you have your quota divided up like this, as opposed to having a shared 300-page quota per month. And although the pricing is okay with MyFax, it's really not that great. Just to give you a better idea, for example, you could get 500 free pages, both incoming or outgoing, per month from a company like MetroFax that you just saw in action a minute ago, and they only charge $7.95 per month, so they're actually a better deal. But with that being said, price is not always the bottom line, or at least it's not always the only bottom line. For example, MyFax has another nifty little feature that they call their free faxing zone. They charge international rates for any faxes sent to countries outside of this zone, but if you're faxing within the zone, then the faxes are free as long as they fall within your monthly page allotment. And if you've exceeded your page allotment, then they only cost 10 cents a piece, which is really just the normal overage fee. The other thing you should know about MyFax is that they don't charge you an extra fee for having a toll-free fax number, whereas MetroFax, which is the other company that I used for comparison on the general pricing, does charge you a couple of dollars extra. So that's something else to take into consideration. But the norm is not having an extra fee for toll-free numbers, so it's not quite as big a deal for MyFax as it might seem. Okay, You should also know that MyFax has a UK service available, just in case you do business there or want to refer somebody. It's called MyFax UK. MyFax US also offers the option of choosing a vanity number when you sign up. So if you want 1-800-FAX me now, then as long as it's available, you can choose it. And in some, but not all cases, MyFax can port your existing fax number over to their service. Now, I'm still waiting on confirmation emails from all parties involved with the test faxes that I sent out. Sometimes it takes as much as a couple of minutes, and to be honest, this is actually my second round of testing with MyFax, and I had a little bit of a delay with the first round that I sent as well. So instead of making you sit here and look at my screen for 5 minutes, I'm going to put the video on hold, and I'll get back with you as soon as those confirmation emails come in. Okay, I'm back, and as you can see, I did have a couple of confirmation messages come in. This here is actually the fax that I sent from the MyFax interface. Here's MyFax telling me that the fax went through, and then here's an email from the other service, which just happens to be RapidFax in this case, confirming that they did in fact receive the fax. So far so good there. And here, as you can see just now, here's the fax that I sent from MetroFax to MyFax. They're saying that it was successfully sent, and here's MyFax saying that it successfully arrived. Now, it took 3 or 4 minutes for the fax that I sent from MyFax to arrive, and as you can see, that puts it about 5 to 7 minutes for the fax that I sent to MetroFax to arrive. And I've tested all of these other fax services independently of MyFax and never had a problem with speed on them. Sometimes RapidFax takes a minute or two, sometimes MetroFax takes only seconds for it to come through. So I think the problem might actually be on the MyFax end of things. And as I mentioned earlier, this is actually my second round of testing with MyFax. I actually came back and I did it all over again just because the first round took so long. It was more than 5 minutes before any of the faxes arrived in that case. And I wanted to be fair and give them a second chance, but it looks like they might have an issue with speed. So keep that in mind. They're still worth evaluating if you'd like to try their 30-day free trial, but definitely do test them out and make sure that the faxes come through in a timely manner for you. Well, that wraps up my video review of MyFax. The very last thing you might want to know about them is that they're actually now under the ownership of eFax. You can check out my review of eFax along with plenty of other online fax services at freefaxreview.com.